Hello and welcome to the Blackstone Solicitors YouTube channel. If you've ever been involved in corporate law, or if you're simply curious about how businesses navigate legal processes, then this video is for you. Today we'll tackle an important question. Do all owners need to sign a listing agreement? Let's dive right in. Now, before we get too far into this, let's make sure we're all on the same page. A listing agreement is a contract that a company or its owners sign to allow a broker or an agent to sell or list the company's shares or assets, usually when seeking to go public, raise funds, or even sell the company. It's a crucial document in the corporate world, but the question is, do all owners have to sign it? Well, it all depends. If your company is a private company, like most businesses in the UK, the requirements for a listing agreement can vary. Generally, the owners or shareholders involved in the transaction are the ones that need to sign the agreement. But it's not a one-size-fits-all scenario. Let's break this down a bit. First, let's talk about who the owners are in a corporate sense. In most cases, these will be the shareholders. Shareholders are the individuals or entities who hold shares in the company, and they hold the power when it comes to major corporate decisions, including whether or not the company lists its shares on the stock exchange. If we're talking about private limited companies, the shareholders will typically need to sign the listing agreement, but not always. In some cases, you might have a single shareholder with 100% ownership, or a handful of stakeholders with significant control. But what if there are multiple owners with varying degrees of influence? In that case, there might be different rules depending on the structure of the business. In a public limited company or a company preparing to go public, it's generally a bit more complex. When it comes to stock exchanges like the London Stock Exchange, they may require major shareholders, those who own a large portion of the company, to sign the listing agreement to ensure that the share distribution is in order. But what about smaller, less involved owners? Not every minority shareholder necessarily has to sign the listing agreement, unless their shares or ownership stake is specifically required for the transaction to go through. So, if you're a smaller shareholder in a company that's planning to go public, you might not be asked to sign, but the larger stakeholders will. Here's the thing. No matter how big or small your stake, if you're an owner, it's essential to understand the agreements in place. Sometimes corporate structures can be so complicated that different categories of owners may be subject to varying obligations. The main takeaway is this: who has to sign depends on the structure of the company and the type of transaction. So, if you're in this situation and wondering what your role is, the best course of action is always to speak with a corporate law expert. This is where Blackstone Solicitors can help you navigate the complexities of corporate agreements and ensure you're making informed decisions. In conclusion, whether or not all owners need to sign a listing agreement really comes down to the type of company you're dealing with, the nature of the transaction, and the structure of ownership. At Blackstone Solicitors, we can guide you through these intricacies so you don't get caught out by a clause you didn't see coming. If you need help or advice, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on corporate law.